Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of the Damien and Danielle Download with myself, Danielle, and my fabulous co-host and the co-founder of Power Diary, Damien Adler. Damien, it has been a while since we caught up, so why don't you say hello and let's get into it.
Yeah, hey Danielle, it has. It's been about a month, I think. Yeah, it's been a really busy month. Lots of exciting things to kind of talk about. A lot of things happening, behind the scenes, and very happy to talk about it today and share it with everyone.
I am so excited. Yeah, it has been a really big month. No like huge feature releases, but we've got a lot of good stuff to share. So, as always, we're getting out our stopwatches. We're going to try to be timely because we are talkers, ladies and gentlemen, as we tell you every time. So, we're going to press start. And Damien, why don't you take us away and let's get right into the new releases and updates that we've had going on this
Yeah.
month.
Absolutely. And I've got a new way. I've got my iPad now in front of me. I'm using, often we'll print our notes out and I'm like, no, come on, you got to, so I've got my iPad. I can scroll through and go through all the wonderful things. So first
Awesome.
off, the charts here for our US customers, we talked a bit
And
about in our
Canada.
last,
And
and
Canada.
Canada, sorry, and Northern American customers, I should say. We talked a bit about it last podcast that we have there's regulation changes that are affecting everyone in relation to how SMSs are sent, and there's new requirements in relation to numbers being verified and registered, and they're trying to reduce the amount of spam and problematic use of SMS to get blasted. I'm sure we could all relate to that. So they're trying to do some good things to reduce that, but it does mean that there is now more regulation coming into effect. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with our development team and with our US SMS partners to prepare for that. Now that's ready to go, and people can register. We've been sending out emails because the deadline is coming up. Um, so we've been sending out emails and things. We have a process now to be able to register SMSs and the sending numbers. So each US and Canadian company will have its own dedicated sending number. There's a verification process to go through for that. So jump on if you are sending SMSs via Power Diary or any other platform for that matter.
And within this region, it's only going to, so if
Within,
you are in this North American region, you have been notified. You're probably seeing something on in your Power Diary account, and the process is really easy. If you're not in
yeah,
this region, you don't got to worry
don't worry
about it.
about it.
And
Yeah,
if you are, no big deal. It's so simple. And because that's what we do, Power Diary. We make it easy, right? So
yeah.
all done. Big, lots of work that they did for
Yeah, it
you.
is. Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I think it will be, it will be a good thing. I think, it's good that there's effort being made to kind of reduce some of the, the annoying SMSs that people get that are just, blasting out, essentially spam advertising. So this is good. It will mean that, people have a dedicated number. So, that they'll be very clear that that SMS is coming from that particular practice, and that number is, so verified. So the trust in the SMS system in those North American markets will, I think ultimately be result in improvement in that. So
Yeah.
anyway, that is out. Next feature to talk about, and this is a benefit for everyone, that you can now allow users to set the expiry dates and for forms. So this is the online forms where you can set up forms to collect all sorts of information. You can customize a form to collect information, or you can use one from our library and modify it. But when that form goes out, it used to have a set expiry date of 32 days. So it meant that the link in the form would expire if it hadn't been completed within that time. Now, we got lots of feedback from people over the time that they wanted more control over that expiry time. So in some cases, people wanted to expire it early and say, no, I just want to collect that and have it back within a week or something. I don't want that out there. In other cases, people are like, no, I need it to be longer because there's all sorts of reasons why people might not have filled it in. And I don't want to send them a new form when there's an empty, like a blank one that hasn't been completed sitting there. So, we hear you. We now have this feature. It's live in your account. And there's a couple of ways that you can use this. So you go into the form setup area. So, and to edit a template. So if you go into that, we'll put some details on the screen about how, to do that. But if you go in, you can now at the template level, set the default expiry. So you might say that you want it to last for X number of days, 30 days, 10 days, whatever. And then what will happen is every time you use that form, it will automatically set the expiry for that form to whatever number of days you put in there. You can also leave that field blank and it won't expire at all. So it won't have an expiry date on it. And that way you can set it to match your business needs rather than us trying to guess and have a fixed expiry period. So this is a really, it's a feature I think that will just allow people to customize and utilize or tune, if you like, the feature to exactly match their practice needs, which is great. The other thing you can do as well is you can actually go into the form. So let's say you issue a form and it's got a 30-day expiry, but someone needs longer for that to complete it. They might message and say, look, I haven't had time. I'm collecting some information to put in. You can go into that client's profile, into forms, and then you can update and extend the expiry for that form as well. So you can go and edit that and allow that to be extended. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. It's in your account right now. You can go in, you can update your existing forms, whatever you like. It's there to be utilized.
Perfect. I love that. That's good.
Yeah,
I think that's a good one because someone could call you and say, hey, I didn't get around to this, and you could just go and extend it and give them a little extra time. So you don't have to worry about anything else. Well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you might issue a form and collect some symptom ratings, or there might be anything, and the person's been on holidays or they've been sick or whatever it might be. And they're like, look, I just haven't had the opportunity.
Right.
And you don't really want like a dead form sitting, in the account. So you can just go in and go, oh, we can extend it or we can do whatever needs to be done. Perfect. So that's cool. And, that's, again, come from feedback as most of our sort of updates like this do. We look at what people are saying and how we can make life better for them. And there it is.
Good job, team. Yay.
Yeah, it's awesome. Next feature is the Practitioner job title merge field. Okay,
job title merge field. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. Simple terms. In the Practitioner setup, so when you're in as you're setting up a calendar, and there's a whole bunch of different, where you've got their name and all the details for that particular practitioner. You can now then have the job title there's a field in there that you can enter in what their title is, and then importantly, you can merge that content into your communication templates. So if you've got someone, and often like a template, the content of the template might be the same, but the practitioners might have different qualifications or different titles and so forth. And so one of the things we were getting from feedback is, hey, look, the letter writer, is awesome. The templates are great. That makes it really easy, but we still have to modify for an individual practitioner to say that they are, maybe it's a particular profession, maybe it's qualifications, title, whatever that they want on there. And there wasn't a way to do that systematically. So you can now go into that, you can add that in, and there's a bunch of merge fields that you can use to then get that content to appear in any of the correspondence. It could be letters, it could be reminder emails, it could be SMSs, whatever you like, but that content now, is available, and you can do it, save people a stack of time.
Love it.
And so that's really cool. Again, live in the account, and you'll see some new merge fields available when you're creating templates, and that's what they are referring to.
Awesome. Great.
Okay.
I like it.
Next news out, and this is for our Australian-based users only. So this is about the Medicare integration now. So this is, just to be clear, not Medicare in the US, but Medicare for Australia. So we have, as I'm sure a lot of Australian practices will be aware, that Medicare is shutting down a lot of their older systems that they were using for processing claims. It's been a big project that they've been doing, and consequently for all the practitioners and all the practice management systems that have an integration, there's been a lot of work involved in creating a new integration that works with their new system. So we've been working with Medicare for some time on this. We have gone through all the testing, and we are now have been rolling that out over the last month or so now. We're doing it in a staged way, so we're rolling out to our customer base. And you'll see it come up in your account when you've been switched across. It will say that you are using the new system, and it's been going really smoothly so far, which has been great. So we always start off with something like this. We roll it out to a few customers first, and work with them to make sure everything is going well, and then we progressively increase the percentage of rollout that we do at each period. So that's going really, really well. Really exciting to have this one, have this job and this project kind of ticked off and done, because it's something that we had no choice to do. This is something that Medicare is super important to our customers, and we want to, of course, be using the latest tech. So it's great to have this out, have it all working, and our service will continue undisrupted, in terms of Medicare.
And it's been a lot of work, and the engineering
it's been enormous.
So here's my shout out to those guys and gals on the engineering team. A+ job actually on all of these, feature releases and the ones and the fixes and all the things that you guys do each and every month. I always like to give them a shout out, because I do know, we show a little bit and we talk a little bit, and there's some things that are just so visible and other things that maybe aren't. And they just really are hard at work all the time, around the clock, because we are around the clock. And so congratulations on, getting this one almost, to the finish line. I know it's been another lengthy one. So great job, guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, often, I think that I kind of, I have the privilege sometimes of almost having the glory job of being able to talk to people about it and say, hey, this is what we've got. But it's all, there's so much that goes into each of these changes. We have our, customer service team collecting kind of feedback and working that through, and then our product team will be looking and refining that idea and getting that sort of prepared for the engineering team. The engineering team will work on, even before it gets started, there's a lot of work goes into making sure that it's all specced out correctly. And then, as you say, engineering team then work, really hard at developing and testing and building that, in. And then
with all of us annoying them to get it done, like, come on. So you're right. I guess we should say there are so many different little, cogs in the wheel, or, in this machine at Power Diary that are really working together to get each and every one of these things done. And really, it's A+ job for everybody down the line. I don't want to leave anybody out. You're all important to me.
No, absolutely. So so that's the main things I think we're announcing today. There's of course always a bunch more things in the pipeline which we aren't going to talk about today. We'll talk about it next time when they're all out and live, but there's some exciting things. There's also always some background infrastructure work being done, which we'll have a little bit more to sort of talk about down the track. But there's a lot of we're always kind of working on improving every element and looking ahead of what technology is coming down the pipe, what changes might people want, what are changes happening in browsers and things that we want to be well prepared for, and to make sure that people can maximize the usage of their browsers and all the security features that come out with those. So there's always this sort of background work being done, but we'll talk more about that in another episode, perhaps next month or so forth. So that's it for that. And I'll hand it to you. You're going to talk about some other news that we want to go through.
Yeah, no, I like the other news. So you get to give all the good updates on the product, and I get to kind of throw them the other news. So last month we talked about our recently launched Refer a Friend program, which is like a thank you program to all of our amazing customers, because you guys are amazing. A lot of you are already referring friends to Power Diary, and we want to thank you for that. And that is why we launched this Refer a Friend program. And we've got a lot of people already signed up and taking advantage of it. But I wanted to remind each and every one of you to head on over and do the same so we can thank you appropriately for referring those friends to us. So get on it. Go to www.powerdiary.com/refer-a-friend, and it will pull up everything appropriately based upon where you're located. You'll get all the information. You'll register straight away, and you can start referring your friends, and we can start thanking you. So really excited about this. And again, glad to see we already got people in the mix and utilizing it. We're thanking them already. So can't wait to see more people get on board and get more of the friends and family loving Power Diary like you guys do. So we love you guys.
It's really amazing. Like we were looking at this the other day about so much of Power Diary's growth has been, due to this word of mouth referral, where people will, talk to their colleagues about, ask what system are you using for your practice and so forth, and then that's how they would get, onto Power Diary, and which is amazing. We're so appreciative of that, and the scale at which that happens is amazing, and it really is. It's a great. I'm glad that we were able to sort of launch this program, because it allows us to kind of really just let people know and say thanks. And I think the other side of it too is when people refer their friend, and someone signs up, from that, that person who signs up, they get, like a bonus as well. So it kind of gives, it's good. It sort of brings it in and to say, hey, because your friend suggested,
they get some,
exactly.
Everybody gets a thank you, and we're showing the love, and it's a nice way to welcome and thank Power Diary customers. So really cool. All right. So what else do we got? So
webinars.
So yes, we did our second Power Talk. So it's my second Power Talks with you. Super fun. It was on surviving and thriving in difficult times. It came out of a conversation that you and I were having before we filmed one of these, and about just, the state of the world and how healthcare industry is so resilient and such a thriving, industry, and, what practice, there's so much opportunity for practitioners. So we wanted to kind of share that information with all of you guys. So if you haven't seen it, head on over to our webinars page on our website, and you can watch the replay there. I really think it was great. We got a lot of people on board with us. The chat was lively. Your mic could have been a little bit better. I think we might have solved it today. So
exactly. So we had them, and that was exactly. I think the topic, it was really interesting. The amount of interaction we got. I mean, the signups for that were huge. The people that watched it were huge. But what was also interesting, so we had this mic, I had this mic problem that we couldn't, which I think now we've solved. I've changed the acoustics in the room somewhat, and I've still got work to go. My wife's working on some better sound management in here to reduce a bit of echo, and I've got a new mic and the whole lot. But what was interesting is that when we're having those mic issues, it is the number of people that were like, I really, contacting us, hey, I really want to, I would really like this topic, I'm having a little problem, hearing with the issues that we were sort of having. But it showed the enthusiasm, because the number of people that have watched it since on the various places that we publish it, and that interaction has been amazing. So this idea that there are uncertain times out there, and an uncertain kind of vibe in the, in the community because of all these different kind of events, but health, and that's the take-home message. Health is, it's such a resilient industry, and that there are so many opportunities for people to thrive during this. And it was really fun. It was really fun doing that topic, and I'm glad we did, because we've just had such great feedback and comments and whatnot, despite the fact that my sound quality was awful. So apologies for that. Hopefully
we fixed it. We couldn't, over the three of them, we just couldn't get it right. I think we put up the best of the best of it. And I mean, again, I don't think I didn't think it was that bad. Maybe it's because I talk to you all the time, and I like we have our own understanding. But I got it, and I hope you guys will please head on over and watch it, because there is a lot of really good things in there, really good content. And actually, all of our webinars are, not to brag, but we do put a lot of effort, and I think that we really hit a strong note, and this is something really relevant for today. And speaking of relevant, we've got another one on the pike that I'm actually really excited about, because I had the privilege of sitting in on yourself and Naomi, who is our people, I want to get it right. People and culture manager. And she does all the HR stuff, all the hiring, and meeting with all of our potential employees herself. And she's got a long history of in this area of expertise. And you two just going at it. It's called Rethinking Recruiting for Practitioners. That's the name of the Power Talks. It's coming up at the end of this month. We're trying to get these on the last Tuesday of every month. So really excited about this. Again, got the privilege of sitting with you guys and listening to you two kind of really hone in on what you wanted to focus on and how you want to do it. And I am like A+, and I'll let you speak to it, but I think it's going to be a really, really awesome webinar. Another great one.
Yeah, I think, look, yeah, I'm really excited about it too, because I think recruitment is such an important part of growing a practice. And it's well, people often describe it as being a difficult time to recruit because there's such sort of heavy demand. But there's also, a bunch of mistakes that you can see people make over and over again, and get into the trap of thinking that it really just is a money game, that you just need to offer more and more money because of the competitive environment for recruitment. And there's a whole lot of traps, I think, that people kind of get into in this space. And so we're going to go through some of the mistakes that are very common across the health industry around the world. We see the same patterns of things happening, and then some really practical tips and ideas about how to recruit in a way that really supports the growth of the business, supports the underlying economics of the business. Because if you recruit just based on trying to pay the higher salary to attract people, that is a sure way to like burn yourself out and work for nothing. Because it affects the profitability. But also importantly, recruit in a way that supports the culture of the organization, the culture of your practice, so that the people that you're bringing on, that they resonate with the right values, and therefore it becomes a place where people want to work, and is the practice that you sort of envisaged having when you first started a practice. So really important topic. I'm really excited about it. Naomi, we're very lucky to have her as part of the Power Diary team, and the experience and perspective that she brings. So a really great talk coming up on that, and I'm excited to do it.
Yes, and it's September 27th. I just went and checked. It's at 8 p.m. And so we'll do it again. We'll do 3. So when I say 8 p.m., there's like an Eastern Standard Time. So, around that, it will, when you go to the page, so when you go to register, you'll actually see 3 times, and you could pick one that meets your needs. So 8 p.m. Australian time, but again, wherever you are in Australia, or wherever you are in New Zealand, wherever you are, you're going to be, and you can pick whichever one you want to do.
That's right. So UK and Northern America, I think we have some time slots in there for.
Yes, there's an 8 p.m. like a BST. So all that will handle kind of Europe. But again, depending on where you are, it might be easier for you to hit a 6 a.m. Like for me, the 8 p.m. Australia time is 6 a.m. for me. Maybe I want to get up early and grab a cup of coffee and watch you and Naomi, so the great part about it, that when you get there, it will pull up automatically based upon your IP address, where you're located and what time it is. And you'll be able to register which everyone works for you. And Damien and Naomi will be there for you 3 times. So it's going to be great. I'm really excited about it. And yes, head on over and register now. So Okay, so that's that. Now, this
Yeah.
morning, I'm really excited about this. And, you and I talked about it before we got on because we had a town hall this morning with our team internally. And it's great. We get to share some fun stats, really see how we've grown, everybody gets to hear from Damien and Fiona and Paul and, Naomi, the whole team. We get to have little breakouts. And some of the things we pulled out, it was really cool because we hadn't done this before. We started pulling out like these big numbers of how many appointments had been booked and, personal appointments and, how the feature usage was. And I just wanted to talk to it just a little bit to get your take, but really great job to everybody using it because it's amazing, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think it is phenomenal to see that when we kind of stop and we look at what's the impact, for the community of Powered and what difference is it making to practitioners and to patients. And when we see, and we look at that and you see the feature use, I mean, it is just, phenomenal to see the level of delivery of services that are going, through the platform. And we're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of like even telehealth hours that, there was a bit of a perception. We were thinking, that telehealth is probably going to start to drop off as, around the world, of course, things returning somewhat to a normal of face-to-face, but actually, that's not the case. The telehealth usage is absolutely, through the roof, because I think a lot of practices and patients have, changed their way of operating, and you can see the benefits of telehealth and the convenience of that. So that, people that might have in the past cancelled an appointment because they couldn't make it, or they were looking after a child sick at home or something, and they're just like, that's fine, we'll just have a telehealth instead, because they've become used to it. So it was really good to kind of drill down and just see, like, globally, the amount of usage that the various kind of features get. And I think that the client portal was one that we were looking at, which was nuts. And so there is just every day just thousands and thousands of appointments getting booked. And what's so important and significant about that is around the amount of administration time that saves our practices, right? From doing, because every person that books, and even better if they pay online, which amazing number of appointments, the whole transaction is occurring via the client portal, which means that not only do you save the time, the initial booking, and not having having to have someone answer phones and go through and find the appointment,
call back, listen to voicemails. There's the customer in the waiting room. I can't talk right now. The customer is getting irritated. I mean, what was that number? And did you have a number?
we did. So we worked out that in administration time, so this is just for August, we were pulling the last complete month, was 13,750 so 13,750 hours of admin time that was saved by just the client portal. Nothing, no other, we weren't factoring in any other features, just the use of the client portal was saving our practices, so our customers, that amount of admin time just on that one feature. Because it also means that on the way out, when people are finished with the appointment, there isn't the delay of having to process payment and rebook. It also just means too that from a confidentiality point of view, there is, they say, like, one of the biggest risks of unintended subtle kind of breaches of confidentiality happen at reception desks and things like that, where because there can be a continuation, not from the practitioner side, but the patient will sometimes ask a question, make a comment, will make something that actually breaches their own kind of privacy that you can't really control, right? Because they might say, now on that bit of homework or on that exercise, and it's so a lot of these inadvertent things happen when there are people around, at the reception. So by able to keep everything kind of flowing efficient, it means that people are in and out. You've got less opportunity for things like that to happen. But also just purely from a management point of view, it means less requirement for admin hours, and that's means you can either redirect that time into the admin team doing other more constructive things that build the value of your practice, or it means you've got less administrative costs, which is a great thing. So it's just really exciting to kind of go through and see that, and we can do a deeper dive on some of these things.
Deeper dive.
Maybe,
I mean, we pulled the numbers for emails and SMNs. It's just next level. You guys are really just, as my Australian friends would say, it is brilliant. Brilliant.
When you say it like that, it sounds yeah, I hadn't thought that that's a culturally specific thing.
It's brilliant. I love it. It's good. I think, it's really cool just to see everybody in there and using it, and these numbers be so high, and you guys really taking advantage of all the features that Power Diary has to offer. And if anybody has any questions on setting up the client portal or using telehealth or emails or SMS, our customer success team is there. We've got great Help Scout articles, and we will help you along the way. But I promise you, I've personally set up the client portal, used telehealth, sent emails, sent SMS. It's very easy. It's easy. And it's really awesome. So yay, great job. I love seeing those numbers today. And I'm really glad we got to kind of give them a little behind the curtain peek and how much you guys are using our software. We like to give you guys a little, peek behind the curtain every now and then. So that was fun. I'm glad we got to do that. So, all right, let's keep going. Cause I'm keeping us on track here for time. We're almost at 30 minutes. What do we got? We got some team updates.
Yeah, some team updates. So looking at recruitment, we've grown out the data import team more. So we have another data import specialist that is on board and has joined that team, doing a great job already. We have a finance and operations assistant now who has joined us. So she's wonderful. I met her actually for the first time yesterday. Had a great conversation. She is awesome, and I think will really be helpful. And we've got 2 new software engineers who have joined the team, which is fantastic. We're growing, constantly growing our engineering team, month on month, and in fact, the whole, if you listen to these updates, if you've listened to them all, you'll see like every month we're growing, we're recruiting more people and expanding the offering, and great to have such just wonderful people join the team. And we've got a few more in the pipeline, but not that we can't yet announce yet. But there are a couple more exciting appointments that are, or multiple actually, right as we speak. So really good. And we even saw yesterday, Powder got a mention in did you see that? Yeah, a list of
on LinkedIn, right? So, but
that's right.
For remote work. Yeah. I
exactly.
couldn't agree with it more. So I actually need to get on there and share it. So I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, it was really good, and we were in the top few that were listed, and with the company that we had in the top of that list, mega companies, some cases, household names, around the world. And so really wonderful to see that, that people enjoy working here, and that the climate, because we think that, happy workers and happy team members and happy, work, they're just the atmosphere, it creates better outcomes. And it's so anyway, that was just a side note, but really cool to see that.
It's good
as well. And we'll continue to attract
go over to LinkedIn, check that out, guys. Head on over, I'll be sharing it. All right, so let's get into this. This is, again, as everybody knows, my favorite segment of our little show here, and that is Damien's Thought of the Month, because it's always so good. So, Damien, what is your thought of the month?
After that build up, that's really going to put the pressure on. Look, I'll just tell you what I've been thinking about, right? So the thing I've been reflecting on really is about this team, the power of team, right? And I mean, I know that sometimes it's like just a trendy thing to kind of say, all the rest of it's but no, I mean, genuinely, like, when we look at how Powdery, started, and initially, it's a co-founder and brother Paul and I, that's the kind of starting point, and
A
we have
built-in
11
team, a born and bred team. That's good.
yeah, exactly. And then when we look at the growth of Powdery over the time, and not just numbers, but also the geographic use, where now it is used extensively. Okay, Australia, New Zealand, where we initially kind of started, but now UK, Ireland, South Africa, Canada, the USA, plus a whole bunch of other countries, but those core areas, to see the amount of use and the growth rate is phenomenal. None of that, none of it is, you just can't do it on your own or with a couple of people. It's just it's impossible. And the success that Powdery has had and is continuing to enjoy, it's a function excuse me, losing my voice, but it's a function of that of team, and it's a function of the contribution and the passion and the energy and the ideas of everyone. And then also sort of think about team. Often we talk about customers, but our customers, I sort of see them as a big team as well, and they're very we're very they're often very invested in the product and in what it does, and are very supportive. So we'll often have new ideas that they're kind of sharing, or we'll have feedback, and as we were talking before, the amount of people that refer other friends, colleagues, and so forth to us, or write articles or something. I mean, it's just really, it's about that kind of collective effort of people that really that's what I've been sort of thinking about today. And the same applies of course in any context. When I look at the private practice that my wife and I built and still have, and my wife runs it, that's all about team too. We had an idea and what we wanted to achieve, but it would be it would not have grown the way that it has, and had the impact on the community that we operate, without everyone's ideas and their intelligence and their passion and idea. All that comes together. So I think as practitioners, sometimes we and also as admin team, admin leaders, if you're a practice manager or something, there's often a tendency to feel like it falls all on us, and that we need to kind of do everything and be everything. But really, I think one of the benefits of the team is that you can focus on your own strengths, and try and maximize those, and be aware of the limitations and the things that you suck at. And I suck at a whole bunch of stuff, but what it means is that we can recruit, we can have other, when you got a team, you can utilize the strengths of everyone to form a really strong kind of network, and achieve a great result, which is just you can't do on your own, or if it's and the pressure of that too is not good. So when you've got a team, and that's the thought that's been going around in my head about how important it is, how critical. Nothing great ever gets done without a team sort of collective effort. So if people are struggling in their practice, or feeling a lot of stress, is to sort of think about how can we kind of how can you leverage team? How can you either build it or make better use of the team you've got? Or if that's not imminently available, let's say you're a solo practitioner, you can think about team in a different way, and think about pairing up with other colleagues, maybe having it can be informal group kind of catch up, coffee, virtual coffee, whatever.
Join our Facebook group, join a Facebook group, find a collective of, fellow, practitioners near you, and create something. Because I agree with you, team. I'm nothing without my team, and we all work together, and this team at Powdery is fantastic. So I love that. And there's no I in team.
No, it's true. I know it's might be a cliche or whatever, but it's just so, it is true. It is, and really it's something that it's really become very, very, very kind of clear over the years. And anyway, that's a reflection. Team, make the best
A
use of
plus.
it. Don't try and do it on your own. And look at, if you don't have a team at the moment, look at other ways of getting the benefit of team, benefit of community to support you and help you make the difference that you're trying to make. So
awesome.
That's it for me.
You did great. You did great. I loved it. And yeah, I think we're okay. We talked a little bit long today, ladies and gentlemen, but all good stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. Damien, thank you for joining with me from across the globe and I across from you. And everyone, I hope you guys have a great day and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.